That's about as American as it gets, bro.
It's American.
Is this thing on?
Check 1 2 1 2.
It's fucking crazy.
They're invincible, indestructible, and he's living for like 10,000 years.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hunt for Greatness podcast.
Yeah, that's mine.
I'm sure you won't. You don't care. All right. Greetings from Podcastville. I'm here with the Hunt for Greatness podcast. I got Jonathan Usgaetake on the podcast today. What's up, Jonathan?
What's up?
How you doing, baby?
Good. How you doing, buddy?
Good, man. So your boys are winning in the tournaments this weekend, huh?
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
They had a tournament this week in Myrtle Beach, and I'm very happy. It's been almost since they moved in with me 2.5 years, 2 and 3 months. Oh, 2.5, 2 years and 2 months, I think. And they've been training, and they're doing really good. I'm very excited and happy for them.
And they're 13 and 15?
13 and 15, yes.
Wow, dude.
Yes,
And they've been with you 2.5 years?
Maybe 2 years since they moved in.
That's awesome.
I got full custody of them. That long
Oh,
ago.
they're like they live with you.
They live with me now.
Oh, I thought you were meaning like just in your school.
No. They never train.
How'd you know them? Like how'd you?
My kids?
Oh, they're your kids.
They're my boys.
Oh, okay. So because you talk about your students like they're your kids.
No,
too.
everybody's my kids, but this is my
okay.
sons.
Gotcha.
They used
Wow.
to. That's from my previous marriage, and
Okay.
they live with their mom in the past, but now they live with me, and they started training 2 months ago, and they're doing really good. They're very disciplined, and I'm very happy and excited for the future.
Now, have you always been like a disciplined type of person, or?
I was when I was in my country, and then I came here and I slacked for a while, and then, I got back into being disciplined again, and I don't think I will slack again.
How did you start slacking, you think?
Just when I moved here, I used to do a lot of, sports and martial art in my country, and then when I moved here, I just felt like maybe burnt out, too much discipline. Who knows? And then I just started kind of leaving, eating too much. I got putting some weight, and I think the only way I was able to lose weight and get back in shape was doing martial arts again. And that's, to me, what I call discipline. You have to have a lot of discipline for martial arts.
Yeah, especially when anybody tells me they're a black belt, I'm like, automatically, I'm like, well, you obviously have self-discipline.
Yeah, you have to, especially in Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, I think, is they have a thing that say the average belt will never get their black belt. So if you're an average Joe, they say you don't get that belt.
You got to go the extra mile above and beyond. Yeah.
I got mine in 8 years, training a lot. So I heard cases where people take them 14 years of your life dedicated.
You good with that fan like that? I thought I cut it off. I didn't.
That's better.
So to even be committed to something for 8 years is a big deal.
It's a big deal. I look at it as a big deal.
To me, to be committed to something for 1 year is a big deal. That's why people do New Year's resolutions.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what. Whenever Sean told me about you, shout out to Sean for linking us up. But whenever he told me about you, he's like, yeah, he's a black belt in judo, black belt jiu-jitsu. He was telling me you used to be a boxer.
Yeah,
as well,
I boxed
before you hurt your neck, I think. Maybe.
Yeah, I hurt my neck. I practiced boxing for 6 years, 7 years, and I enjoy it very much. I never really did it for anything. I just did it to learn it, to get in shape, and But it was discipline. I did it every day, 2-3 times a day.
This was in Venezuela?
No, here.
Oh, in America.
Yeah,
So you moved to America 30 years ago or 20 years ago?
Almost 30.
30 years ago. That's right.
I think. I lost track. I've been doing so many things that you lose exactly track.
Yeah.
But I think it's close to 30 years.
Okay.
Since I've been here.
So you grew up in Venezuela?
Yeah.
For everybody who's listening, I just want to get, because I know some of these things about you, but I want to get some of your background. So So what? So until you were about 20, 25, and
no, I came here when I was I think close to 18.
18. Okay.
Yeah, but I was going back and forth. Like I was going back to Venezuela, coming back here. Still not really decided what I was going to permanently do. But I always had the vision in the back of my head that I really like it here.
Yeah.
It was safe, it was peaceful. It's just a lot of things about American, the United States really attract me. Like the culture, a lot of things, that I felt that it was safe. And I made a right judgment call.
So it was kind of dangerous in your country back whenever you were
back
18.
when I was there. It's danger.
What was going on there? What was so dangerous? Is it just like the people running the government, or the way?
No, it's just the street. It's like if you have a nice pair of shoes or nice watch, you can be flashing that on downtown, whatever, of the capital. Or be in a public place. Sometimes you'll have a person that they might just kill you for a pair of shoes.
Dude,
that can happen easily in those countries. You can be kidnapped these days for if they think you have money. Over there, they'll do the same. When I was there, for a car, if you have a vehicle, a nice vehicle, or chain, some jewelry, they will do something to you for that. So I didn't saw that when I came here. So I really like that about here. Yeah.
Do you think it's because like the people were so just oppressed and poor? Do you think that had something to do with it?
In a part, probably. There was some of that, and I think it's also had to do with I don't know. I mean, if it's the way the law enforcement over there is not like here.
What's the biggest difference? That's one thing I wanted to ask you about.
Law enforcement over there, you don't trust law enforcement over there.
Oh,
it's like
they could be corrupt. You're saying?
Oh, they are a lot of times corrupt,
yeah.
And there's no way to really nail the corruption, because if you think you're gonna complain to somebody, that person's actually probably the one that isn't handling all the corruption. So it's kind of like, I don't know. In here, I didn't saw that. I'm pretty sure in here it's also corrupted, police officers. It's anywhere in the world, but it's not. In the end of the day, here, you can at least have some release that you can sue somebody here.
Yeah.
Over there, you can't sue nobody. Who the heck are you gonna sue over there? So it's got to probably do also in part with that.
So lack of like checks and balances.
Oh yes, there's no respect. I didn't saw a lot of respect on that over there.
Because they have a lot of that same issue, like in Mexico with the cartels and the way the cartels run things over there. And I wanted to ask you about this while I'm thinking about it with the cartels and everything. What do you think about? I think that illegal drugs empower the cartel. Like drugs being illegal in the United States empower the Mexican cartel. What do you think about that? Do you think there should be certain illegal drugs? Do you think that drugs should be illegal in the United States? I'm just trying to get because I'm very curious I'm trying to figure out where I stand with that, and I don't know.
I think my point of view, the moment you make one drug illegal, legal, I mean, that's the end of society. So let's see. I don't do drugs.
Yeah, I don't either.
so I'd say, some people want, for example, the marijuana to be legalized. I'm against that.
Okay.
But I respect if you want to do it.
Right.
But that's my opinion, my personal opinion, because I don't do drugs.
Right. A lot of jiu-jitsu guys smoke weed.
But a lot of guys don't do it like myself.
Right.
I don't do that. I completely against that. I look at it, like I respect everybody. But from my point of view, I like to be in control of myself. So the moment I see, I take him in the past for pain medication. One time I had prescribed for dental work that I have, and they prescribed me some pain medication, and I took it. And let me tell you something, that was... I threw the stuff away. I was like,
didn't like it.
No, I felt like I was not in control of myself.
Oh yeah.
And that made me feel vulnerable. I felt like, I don't feel this way. So I don't even know how people really, want to be that way.
Yeah.
Feel that way, like not in control in the South. But it's like I say, it's a personal.
To each his own.
It's a personal thing,
Right.
Some people love this, some people I don't. Some people may, whatever reason they do it, I don't know why they do it, but it's, I'm not gonna go in nobody's business about that. But personally, I'm against that.
Right. Okay. Well, that's what I was wondering, because when I talked to you on the phone a few weeks ago, and we talked for like an hour about your book, Jonathan has a book he's writing right now, and just tell me a little bit about the book, or tell the listeners a little bit about the book as far as what brought you to write this book and how that's coming along and everything, because you're in the process of writing.
I'm in the process right now writing this.
And we're gonna have you back on whenever you get done. And
thank you.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
It is going to be, hopefully, I nailed it with this book. It's about politics. It's not about jiu-jitsu. It's so funny because I love jiu-jitsu so much, and I feel that jiu-jitsu is something that I use to embrace everything I'm doing in life, even politics. I thank jiu-jitsu for a lot of things. God first, and jiu-jitsu, that I'm able to I got surgery not too long ago. I was able to be back in training very soon. So many things, like when I was going through my first divorce, jiu-jitsu helped me to, it's a therapy. When things were falling apart in front of me, I was like, I don't care. Jiu-jitsu is a martial art that build a lot of resilience. That mental toughness you need to rebound back from, whatever life brings to you. So I was very thankful that I was doing that, and thanks to that, I'm able to do other things like right now, writing the book.
Yes, perfect.
And I think it's a good timing for that book.
Oh, it's perfect timing. Perfect.
The reason I'm doing that is because I feel very grateful for all the things that I accomplished in this nation. I couldn't when I started writing the book, and I started kind of getting into politics. It was probably 2 years ago, and I could have chose to just watch how everything is going right now in this country, and sit back and just be a bystander, But I follow, I wanted to say my story, from coming from a country where socialists is completely destroyed that nation. We went to be from one of the most richer countries in South America to one of the poorest ones, where people actually, are walking. I had a friend, they just came back from Venezuela, visiting his family over there this Friday. And he was telling me, dude, you don't understand. People are walking from this part to Colombia to Ecuador, just
Good
walking.
Gracious. Just trying to get away.
Yeah, just leaving everything behind and just walking whatever they have.
That's sad, man.
Yeah, with whatever they have in their hands, whatever they can carry, they just walk straight to the border.
Oh, my God.
Really? I said, yeah, man, it's no joke. This is no joke. Now you got the very, very wealthy and the very, very poor. And,
there's no middle.
There's no middle. That middle class people, everybody's struggling.
And you think that's due to socialism, basically, for the most part?
The most part is. Because it's an ideology that it rebounds back. Somehow these ideologies keep coming back. It just keep coming back with different type of forms and names. I think to me, socialist and communist is the same crap.
Right.
It's this idea that you're giving more power to the people. That's what they always preach.
Right.
But in reality, it's not.
How could it be? That's my thing. And we were just talking about this before the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my thing is, how could it be giving more power to the people when you're allowing the government to control?
You're allowing the government to get bigger. Yeah. So
right. Which is not what America was founded on. It was founded on personal liberties and freedom.
Mm-hmm.
And freedom, to me, communism is evil to me. Like, that's just the way I look at it. As communism is evil, because you got like China, for example. I mean, and then you'll even hear socialists try to argue that China is flourishing because of socialism.
No, it's not.
It's flourishing because of capitalism.
Yeah, free market.
Right, free market. And here's the thing. Like, are you willing to give up freedom of press, whatever else they take whenever that socialism's implemented? Because that eventually comes in all these countries.
The problem is that they, like I see right now here, and there was the same problem that was in Venezuela. That a lot of people don't know this, and the media would never allow for you to find out this. Is that in Venezuela, who do you think put Hugo Chavez in power was that wealthy, the media. They were the ones that put him in power. There were some people there that they felt like, this guy's, I don't trust this guy. But in the end, who put him in power is the media, the wealthy, thinking they were going to be able to control him. And when he got in power, the tables turned. The guy got sharp and said no. Those that put him in power were the first ones to flip the country to Europe, to Miami, to United States.
To flee the country.
Yeah, because they felt like, man, we created a monster we can now no longer control. And that's the same thing that I see today in this country, is how the media is pushing these so-called democratic socialists to everybody, especially the younger, the kid, the youth.
And they're buying into it. It's
because
a crazy thing.
It's like when you don't know something, and the information they're providing you is kind of like fake.
It's one-sided.
It's one-sided, and they don't explain to you. It's like, I'll invite you to stop anybody and ask him, define democratic socialist. Just define it.
Right. I've been trying to define it out.
And there's no answer.
I can't figure it out.
Look, there's an expression that they say, you can have, a sandwich, a poop. Still, what is it called? I heard somebody telling me one time, something about a sandwich. If you make a sandwich of poop, just because you put a sandwich in front,
sandwich. Yeah.
It's still a sandwich of poop, So that's
sandwich
the best.
Of poop. I've never heard it said.
You mean a sandwich?
Yeah,
shit,
I got
shit
you.
Sandwich.
Yeah.
I ain't a freaking casa.
It's all good, dude.
Okay, so you look at it, like where Democratic Socialists, the same thing. It's this idea they always they take it back, reshape, and send them back to society to see if they catch
Trojan horse.
Yeah, the Trojan horse.
Right.
Exactly. So right now we have what we used to call socialists and communists. Now it scares people to hear communists. For some believe it, they're okay with that.
Man.
And it's scary. And some they're scared with the socialist idea. No, they're scared. So in order to bring people, they're okay, but they're not. And then you put the Democrat in front, and it sounds really good. It sounds, it's democratic. It's socialist, but it's democratic. But in the end of the day, it's the same terrible, horrible idea.
Right.
It's socialist.
They just changed the name.
They just put it that, like talking back about the sandwich.
Well, the only way to get this, there's no example really. I mean, you got Denmark.
Denmark is not socialist.
Is it not?
No.
For some reason I thought it was socialism.
No, they have social programs. It used to be socialist, but now if you look at it, I think they have. They're actually more capital. We have more free market than we do. I believe their tax are lower on that for businesses, so they can. So it's actually they do still have social
socialized medicine too.
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, but there's so many things that people don't understand. When you talk about socialized medicine in a country like Denmark, look at the defense budget for those countries. It's nothing.
Well, a lot of those countries we support them.
We
protect our military.
We protect those countries. So if you look at it, they don't have a defense budget, right? In the United States, protect those countries. So in a way, the American society is subsidizing all this medical free in those countries. Somehow we're subsidizing for these people to have social whatever, it's called rationalized medicine.
Right.
Rationalized medicine. Because as with social, like in Canada, you don't have people going from United States to Canada to get a knee surgery or...
It's the other way around.
It's all the way around.
Right.
In those countries, like I just had a knee surgery. It's been, 4 weeks since I had knee surgery. I called my doctor. I already have They gave me right away. When do you want to do the surgery? It was like, and then I went to do the MRI. Well, I did the X-ray, did the MRI, and then from there, as soon as they saw the MRI, they said, hey, you qualify for surgery. You know, you need surgery. And when do you want to do it? He gave me the time. I gave him my time, and then I was booked for knee surgery. And like, it didn't took that long. I was like, boom, boom.
Yeah.
And you know, now if you are in a rationalized, you know, like Medicare for all, more like things like that, they're not a life and threat situation. So they're gonna be, you have to be put on the list. You know, in that list, might have 200 people in front of you. So whenever it's your time, is when you're gonna have that knee surgery or whatever. Something that is not a life threat, like arthritis, not a life threat.
Right.
A knee surgery, a shoulder surgery. You know,
what made them do it like that though? I guess, is that the way it just has to work if it's not? It
is. This is going back to so-called giving power to the government.
Yeah.
The government is going to tell you exactly how many MRI machines are going to be in the hospital.
Right.
The government's going to tell you exactly. The government's going to command all the moves that they're done.
They put regulations on everything.
Exactly. And then, as you know, there's nothing. If you can mention anything the government really do that is really, really good.
Nothing.
Okay,
Can't think of one thing, dude.
So look at the post office.
Yeah.
It's not really doing that well. I mean, so you got to look at it. The moment you say, oh, we're giving power to the people, but we actually allowing the government to tell us how many MRI machines are going to be in the hospital, when would you be able to have surgery on that knee? How much power we really gave to the people? I have power because when my insurer, I was able, me and the doctor, just nobody in the middle, right?
Right.
Agree when I was going to have surgery. That's the power to the people.
Exactly.
Not the other way around when I have to be in the line and wait for the government to tell me, hey, the knee surgery is going to be done in 4 months because there are so many people ahead of you.
That's where I'm at a loss. Like, I just can't follow it past the point of somebody who's for socialism telling me that it empowers the people. I cannot get past that.
It's a misinformation. And it comes to the point after a while, people are so brainwashed that frames go free. A lot of people love that free stuff. No, free, you don't have to pay. It's free. Everybody's getting it. Some other group of people like the idea that we're helping each other. So they also get caught up on that. Because I know people that, you know, we should help each other and all that, but it's not that way.
Yeah.
It's not that way.
Well, me and you can help each other. We know each other. So, like,
Yes.
on a level of family,
Mhm.
on a level of friends, like,
Yes.
we can be socialists. That's fine. We don't have to get the government involved and help. If I want to help somebody who I don't know, then that's on. If I want to do that, that's fine. I can do it.
But if you do the resource, it shows that the private sector actually is more, you know, helpful on the community than the government is. When do you ever heard?
I mean, I
the
believe
government
you without
have
even doing
charity,
the research.
you know, to give you something, you know, and not expect a return. Because even in welfare, they expect something in return. When they used to have a lot of people in welfare, they expect you to vote and keep whoever party is pushing this thing.
Yeah.
To keep them in power. You know, but when you have like charity places, you know, they build houses, you know, they give money and food and shelter, and there's a lot of places that do that. Private sector.
Right.
The private sector is actually where I got help whenever I need a financial, you know, loans that I got it from the private sector. I never got it from the government. All the loans that I ever got was from private sector. People that I knew, people, you know. That's how I got help in the government. I never went to the government.
That's how you started your business.
That's how I started. And the government never got involved in my life or anything. I never asked the government for anything, you know, to succeed in anything like that.
Right.
So, but it's a misinformation. The population, and not here, everywhere, think that the government should be involved in everything we do. And I couldn't
disagree more with that. Like, as far as the government being involved in anything I do, honestly, like, I get we got to have police to a certain
No,
extent. We have to have police. We have to have fire department. We have
Mhm.
to have roads.
That was the whole reason. If you read the Constitution and learn the Constitution of this country, that was the whole purpose. Because there's some things that we're not going to be able to do for ourselves.
Right.
Like, we're not going to, if we have another country trying to invade, then that's what we have an army.
Right.
That's what we have, armed forces to protect us. The fire department, police department.
Teachers, even teachers. So that did that come later as far as like public school system?
All the stuff come up later. But police department is something that we need, the government to interfere. I mean, think about you're trying to settle the score with your neighbor about some issue. No, there's no police, so you might go outside. Well, I'm going to shoot this guy.
Right,
He's going to shoot me back, and then we're going to score like a Wild Wild West type of thing, right? So the government is okay to be to a limit, but then we have the core system there to check and balance everything, and I think that's good. That's good. But when we allow the government in this case, like I hear a lot of politicians like Bernie Sanders right now. It's a Medicare for all it should be a right, So like, well, that's not in the Constitution of the United States. They need to make that to a part of the Constitution. But as it is right now, it's not. There's nothing in the Constitution or in the Bill of Rights where it say anything about healthcare is a right. We have a right to have a health insurance. So what does that mean? We have the right. The Second Amendment. What does the Second Amendment stand for? We have the right, to carry.
Right to bear arms. Yeah.
Bear arms. So what does that mean? The government's going to buy you guns?
Damn, I didn't even think of it like that.
Think
But that's true.
it.
Yeah. I didn't think of it in that way.
So the freedom of speech stand for right. Is the First Amendment? Is the freedom of speech?
Right.
Is the government going to pay now for the newspaper that we receive? For our cable TV so we can watch the news? For our churches? Pay the salary to all the preachers and pastors and whoever is in the church? We have the right to do these things, but that doesn't mean the government should get involved. All the Constitution is saying you have the right to proceed and get these things.
If that's what you want to do, you can do it. Yeah.
So you got to look at it that way. You go to the Second Amendment, the First Amendment of the Constitution, and they tell you there that, just because we have the right to bear arms, that doesn't mean the government should, it's going to buy you a shotgun.
Yeah.
What do you want, a handgun, shotgun, rifle? Right?
Yeah.
So, that's a good way to argue that part. Like, I don't think what I think we should do by when we elect all these official, like congressmen and senators and, even local officials, maybe argue on our behalf to cut a better deal on not allow the insurance industry and the medical industry, do what they're doing.
Yeah, exactly. They're gouging.
They're
gouging us.
And it happened. I think this is. I don't know exactly. I can't remember now how long ago this happened. Was a battle between the health industry and the medical industry. When the health insurance industry will come to the medical industry, and it asks for like, hey, I'm giving you $2 million worth of in business. We need a break. Nothing wrong with that. Hey. Everybody does it still to this day. You do, hey, I'm doing this much, I'm buying this much from your whatever. You're building a house, and I'm buying this much in supply. Hey, would it be okay if I get a 10% off? Or, nothing wrong with that.
Right.
After a while, if you have a customer that keep buying, it's always good to give something back.
Right,
to make the customer feel, hey, something, 10%, or I'll give you the next one free. So, but the health insurance industry was doing that to the medical industry. And then the medical industry felt like, well, we're not into the business. We didn't open this to be into the business to give money away. It was to make money. So what they did was, inflate the prices. So let's say when you go to the hospital, look, your bill, a Band-Aid can be easily about $5.
Right, something crazy.
Something, like $20. Yeah, $20. So they're not really paying that much when they're buying it. So they're making so much money. That way, by the time they give the insurance companies that break that they always ask for, the insurance companies are satisfied.
Right.
But the medical industry is not losing a penny. But who's getting caught up in the middle between these two? The
People without insurance,
Exactly.
especially.
Even the ones
With insurance, but
Insured-
really without insurance.
Exactly. Insured with not insured. Because if you have insured, using it, too much, or somehow all this health insurance industry is going to start rising the prices up. Because,
Right.
they're going up. It got to go up. you
Right.
know. And that's what I think it is. The bigger problem here it is that I believe the government subsidizes sometimes the health insurance industry. They do a lot of subsidize a lot of the medical industry. So they need to start somehow have this if political officials that we elect to go in there and take care of this problem. But it's probably the corruption. Somebody's always getting
Paid off something.
So
Yeah.
if they do their job, they're not going to get money. So it's got to be somebody going in there and actually, I'm not going to be making that money that the guy before me was making, but this is the right thing to do. But sometimes doing the right thing in this type of, especially when the government's gotten so big, so corrupted, that, it's hard to get out of it.
Very hard.
It's hard. It's just, you're not going to go and destroy, a system that there's a lot of people, depending on it. And then you're trying to be the new guy there. They got elected. Oh, I'm going to do the right thing for the people. And you have 20, let's say you're a congressman. You have 40 congressmen looking at you. That's not the way we roll here.
Yeah.
You're not going to cut us up,
And I'm sure they've got ways and means to get you out of there if you don't do what they want you to do.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like probably these guys have this mentality like they want to do good, like they want to do the
I'm
right
pretty
thing.
sure. I am
and
pretty
they get
sure.
in there and it's like, nope.
No, you can do right. You can do good.
That's
because
sad, man.
But I think a good way to minimize that corruption would be to have this official elect, people like congressmen and senators, not to serve. I heard Nancy Pelosi is being in there for what?
They can serve a lifetime, right? Can't they be in there a
Why?
lifetime? Yeah,
Why?
that's bullshit.
They should be 4 years.
Yeah,
You serve and you
that's
get
it.
that.
Change it up.
Another thing that you look at it, they go in there making $180,000 a year, and when they step down or 20 years, their net worth $20-30 million. How the heck that happened?
Dude, here's the crazy thing that I was reading about is that they do actual work for 90 days a year.
Mhm.
For the other 200 and some days, they get money. They try to get people to donate money.
Yeah, the majority of the time, all they do is campaign to stay in office.
They're not actually
They
doing
right.
anything.
Mhm.
So it's
but it's because of that. It's because we insensitize that idea that an elected official can stay in power for, if it was 4 years, I think no more, like the president. The president
dude,
can only
4
serve
years. That's
4
it.
years, maybe 8 years, and that's it.
Yeah.
You cannot be reelected after that. You're done. So why, if we do it with the president, why can we not do it with congressmen and senators?
I don't understand how it's not like that. I
don't think who really checked the congressmen and senators.
I don't know. That's what I was just thinking. Who's checking the corruption there?
We're supposed to be the ones. We are their bosses.
Right. Supposed to be.
But we have given so much power to the government that that's no longer the case.
Right.
And people don't see it. People do not see it. That this country's gave so much power to the government that, look at what's going on right now with this Russian collusion with Donald Trump. For the evidence that I've seen, it was the Democratic Party. They actually.
I haven't seen or heard any evidence about Trump.
But okay, let's see. Now the Mueller report came out, and then it was a hearing. I think it was Wednesday, and no evidence, nothing. Why we're not turning around and say, well, okay, you guys put this country to almost 3 years with this charade,
Millions of dollars.
millions of dollars,
Millions of people's time wasted.
Yeah, but that's the thing.
But it's like, look over here while we do this right here.
Yeah.
That's what it's like. Look at this.
Yeah,
hand.
but it's a problem that, you know, that I look at it. It says when nobody's saying anything, there's no boss. Who's the boss to come and say, hey, that's it, the shenanigans, guy, we got to stop this charade.
Like, who's holding them accountable?
Yeah, nobody's holding them accountable. But and we don't hold these people accountable for what they've done, Republicans and Democrats, it's either way. You know, there's a lot of things that I think Republicans done that I think was wrong. The Iraq invasion.
Right.
I was against that.
Right.
There was no reason for this country to go against United States, against Iraq. I mean, the last time was 9/11 was supposedly was the
Afghanistan.
Al-Qaeda.
Yeah.
And Al-Qaeda was strongholds in Afghanistan. So
Right.
if we needed to invade anybody, would it be Afghanistan going after Al-Qaeda? Nah, Saddam Hussein.
Yeah.
So I think it was more like a personal agenda that George Bush.
It was like
Junior,
the petrodollar
yeah,
and
yeah.
like what they didn't want to spend this type of. It was something to do with oil.
Yeah, not so
Is
much
what
the
they
oil.
think.
To me, it's more because behind when you see there's a lot of things I'm putting in my book there. They talk about it. How many deals a lot of these companies were getting cut up with the oil. You know how much territory American companies were getting cut up. In the moment in Iraq. So yes, it was it's a oil, a little bit of personal agenda, bandana. Junior wanted to finish what his dad didn't
Right.
finish.
Right.
And in the end, there was no proof. There was no
That Saddam Hussein had anything to
any
do with
weapons.
it. Yeah.
So who? Okay, there's no proof. Why nobody's being arrested? Why nobody's been charged?
It's like they're untouchable.
But in the same thing, you have the Democratic Party doing all these things. It's like we don't have check and balance.
Right.
Right now, with this whole Russian collusion, right? We look at it. There's nobody being. We have evidence that FBI was really doing some very shady things,
Right.
and nobody's being charged. Nobody's like, what's up with this?
And it sets a terrible example for everybody, because if they see you get away with it and you're doing it,
No,
why would they not do the same thing?
No, but that only is a privilege for the elite.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Nah.
If other elites see
No.
that, they're like, oh, I can do whatever I
Yeah.
want.
That doesn't go for us. Like
No, we get held accountable for what we do.
yeah, like it's like a movie. What is it called? 72 Hours. It was a movie that I think I talked to you about.
Oh, about the Benghazi.
the Benghazi fiasco.
Oh God, it was awesome.
What
Awesome
was the name of
movie.
that movie? I forgot. About 72.
No, it wasn't 72.
40.
It was something like 19
Yeah.
hours or something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
40. I don't.
Yeah,
remember.
but it was about the guys that were in Benghazi.
Yes, I mean, you look at it that happened because what Hillary Clinton did.
Right.
And then all those emails that she was supposed to be sending to classify, emails, to a classified email, thing, and she sent them to a regular, like.
It's really about what she didn't do, right?
Yeah, what the things that she didn't do.
Yeah, that she should have done.
Exactly, and
She failed to take action, and it resulted in people's death.
Exactly, and then it was an ambassador that died, some soldiers died, and then you look at it like, what the heck?
Nobody held accountable.
Nobody say anything. She went and smashed some computers and even bleached, some phones and smashing phones and smashing. I mean, there's evidence of that. And then she's the one running for presidency in 2006. It's like, what's going on here? Nobody's holding these people accountable. So we got to be doing something to put the checks and balance on congressmen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we have a check and balance for the presidency. Look what they're doing. The congressman is supposed to be checking and balance, but who's doing it to the Congress, to the legislation branch?
Yeah.
Nobody's checking them and balance. Nobody's putting them in jail. Nobody's saying, okay, you got caught up lying to the people for 3 years, making false allegations and all that. You're gonna need to have to step down.
Yeah.
And after you
Forever.
step down,
You can't do anything else for
we're
us.
going to look into some criminal investigation to see what was the reason you were doing this. Nobody's doing that.
Yeah.
Until we don't start doing that, I don't think we're going to be able to fix the corruption.
Yeah, well, no, I agree with you 100%. And, like, here's the thing. Like, for me, it sets an example.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, so if we're in class and
Mhm.
I'm talking to my teacher and I'm like, hey, shut up to the teacher, and the teacher doesn't do anything, then the whole class is going to disrespect that teacher.
Exactly.
If the teacher sends me to the principal's office, that whole class is going to be quiet and they're going to listen to that teacher.
Mhm.
So it's like setting the example. And unfortunately, and this is a crazy subject, but like it's not that crazy of a subject, but it's just something similar to what we're talking about. I support law enforcement. I've got friends that are cops.
Me too.
I'm behind law enforcement 100%. But with that being said, police officers need to be held accountable if they harm somebody or take somebody's life
course.
on duty. If they do it on duty and it's not justified,
No, I mean, listen.
and that letting them slide happens even at that level too.
But you notice something that I don't know if you remember, right? And I think President Obama was the one that started this fiasco, the war against the law enforcement that we have in this country. That happened under his watch.
Yeah, it did happen on his watch.
I think
When the guy in Texas shot the
yeah,
cops.
I mean, everybody started, and I remember saying these things like I would go, why they don't just have cameras? And
On
then
all of them.
not too long after that, now how many incidents do you heard or you haven't heard now that everybody had cameras?
a lot less.
Because it showed that there, of course, there might be some police officers up there. They're corrupt, they're crooked.
Right.
They don't enforce the law. They do whatever they want. Nothing's perfect. There's nothing perfect in this society. But there's the majority of the police officers aren't that way. I've been almost 30 years in this country, never had a problem. Never had a problem with a police officer. Never have somebody doing some police brutality. I mean, never. Look at me. I'm Spanish.
Right.
Have an accent. I never had a problem. So I don't know why people have problems, with police. And maybe the reason is they don't know how to approach these things.
Right. And then there are some bad police officers, just like,
Like
there's
I
bad
say,
jiu-jitsu
like,
coaches.
oh, yeah.
Just like there's bad people
Bad
who write
bankers,
books.
bad doctors,
Bad people who do
bad
podcasts.
exec-
You know what I mean?
There's a bad of everything.
Yeah.
We're not in a perfect world.
Think how many bad people, though, that police officers come in contact with
Yeah.
every day.
I mean, look what happened. It was this past weekend. They were in the NYPD. There was some kids that was in Bronx, on Brooklyn. They were throwing water. I don't know if you saw that.
No, I
on the
didn't see
news.
that.
Oh yeah, there was on the news, all over the news. There were these gay members and some people in the community. I think the police officers went to enforce some type of minor, altercation. They were there to enforce something. I didn't really quite got into it because I've been busy with training my kids, preparing for the tournament, and some other things that I'm doing in the house. I'm gonna be traveling next month a lot.
Oh, okay.
So, and then I saw this thing, and they pour water into the police officer, and the police officer walk away from the incident, and you see the community pouring buckets of water, and the police walking away from that. It's like, wow, that's just like, what the heck happened here? And there was another video that pop out, where they actually throw the bucket after throwing the water, and then there was another one where I think they believe they threw a milkshake on the police officer. So it's like, I mean, how do you expect the police to respond to this thing?
That's the flip side of what we were just talking about, because of the way people react to police officers, it makes them scared to do their job.
And it's the media. The media is really the one here to blame. Besides the politicians, they're in always calling to be violent.
Right.
I mean, you have a lot
Isn't
of
it
politicians.
amazing how the media influences?
Influencing people, because look, if you get pulled over you know, in night, you know what to do. You pull to the side of the road in a safe spot. You turn your engine off, have all your paper, you know.
Put your window down, hands
They
on
put their
steering
hands
wheel.
on,
They don't
open-
know you. They've
Of
never
course,
seen you before.
They got to put themselves in these people's shoes.
Right.
I don't know who the heck is in the car. It might be a
Right.
crazy lunatic with the gun. We got nothing to lose. He's probably talking, hey, I'm not going back to jail.
Yeah.
So you got to put yourself in their situation, right?
Absolutely.
In if you follow all the things as you get pulled over, you know, you open the window, you have all your paper, your engine is off, and you use, you know, hey sir, whatever the reason. If they don't give you a reason, you can ask the reason why they stop you.
Right.
And have a conversation, a civil conversation with the officer.
Respect. You can be respectful on both sides. On both sides, they can be respectful.
That's it. I don't see now if the police officer doesn't comply, but like I said, now that we have all those cameras,
Yeah.
if you're doing that, there's
Holding them accountable.
you know, unless the police officer turn off the camera off, and then you can argue why the camera was off.
Right.
Why what There's only one case that happened over there, and I forgot where it was. It says that that guy that's running for presidency, Pete Buttigieg.
I don't know who that is.
Something happened in his town
Mm-hmm.
where a police officer was some type of confrontation, and the body camera was off. So there's a big issue with that. That's something that I believe might be questionable. Why the cameras? Unless what you can prove was something wrong with the camera. But if you got turned off, then you're asking. I think the camera now that is there, keep it on because it'll protect yourself.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It will protect me as a police officer. Listen, if I'm doing the right thing here, and the camera's on, is going to show I did everything by the book.
Right.
So that protect me and protect you, so it protect everybody.
Exactly.
So, if you have the body cameras now on police officers, and you do everything by the book, I don't think that we're going to have. I think that it's just the media and politicians that are pushing this narrow because statistics show that there's no police brutality. There's no really police going around looking for Spanish and black and Asian guys. Like, we just want to kill them, and that's BS.
Some people, it's probably very rare.
Yes.
Very rare that they let that person get all the way through the ranks to become a police officer.
Yeah.
I know they exist. They have to
No,
exist.
I am.
But it's
listen,
probably very rare.
Not right now. On this DNA, you're gonna have a police with a body camera, looking for Spanish guys and black guys and Asian guys with the camera on. Oh, I want to post this later on my Instagram. See how
It's going to make it a lot harder.
It's not gonna happen. I'm pretty sure there are guys up there. They have that belief.
Right.
But I honestly, I look at it today. Police officer, they have, because what's going on. How the war against law enforcement. They're more tactical to pull over a black person or Spanish person because with the fear they might lose their job or be the one charged later on because some police brutality and all,
When they were just doing what they had to do.
Exactly. Oh, I've seen a lot of videos on Instagram and Facebook with, people are just talking to police like, holy smoke.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's ridiculous.
It's disrespectful. But like you said it. Like you said it at the beginning whenever you said, when they're going to pull you over, put yourself in their shoes.
But nobody does that.
But that's the solution here for, all right, so I believe that feelings are not facts, okay? Feelings aren't facts. I might feel like you owe me something, but the fact might be that you don't owe me shit. You know what I mean? So, but I do believe that we should try our best to put ourselves into other people's shoes as much as possible. And I think that it would make the world a better place altogether. It would solve so many problems. But reality is that we don't all do that. And that there are bad people, and they're going to treat you bad no matter how you treat them. That's reality. So
that's the reality.
But you said that to me, that is, if they could do that, like if people could just put themselves in a police officer's shoes.
Look, I'm talking to you from my point of view. I'm Spanish. Look at me. I have a very strong accent. I never, almost 30 years, never, ever had a problem with the law enforcement. Never. Like, I mean, I've been Chicago, I've been Tennessee, Mississippi, Alabama, California, New York, or Michigan. I've been all over United States. I think the only place that I haven't been is Hawaii.
Oh man,
That's the only place I haven't been. I haven't been in Puerto Rico, but pretty much Florida, Georgia, Wisconsin. I mean, Jersey, Virginia. Wow, I've been all over. Never ever had a problem with a police officer. Never. I got caught up in speeding. Never. I got caught up in, an accident, never. Stopped running a red line by accident. Never. I got my ticket, I got whatever. Never. So, I mean.
Not to me, I agree. 99% of police officers are great. And it sucks that the media makes us think that there's this huge group.
But sometimes when they do it, there's an agenda behind. It's to disguise the real problems that we actually are going through.
Right.
That's why, they did it in my country. Right now, I look at it. The media is doing so much, is working so hard. Like they did in 2016. Work so hard, 24/7 to elect Hillary Clinton. They always have an agenda.
Yeah.
If you look at it, they say that Donald Trump had a Russian collusion, but the collusion here happened was the media doing a collusion with the Democratic Party to elect the Democratic Party.
Right.
That's some freaking collusion there.
Yeah.
24/7. Look, Donald Trump can do anything good, and he will not get that exposure. He do a little slip and slap, and boy, it's all over the news.
Right.
It is like, come on, let's be fair. The country is doing really good now. Nobody's saying anything about that. Nobody's saying nothing about that. You don't hear the media. If there's anything, it's all you hear. I don't watch the news. I'm tired of that watching the news. But whenever you do see something on Facebook, somebody put a little highlight of whatever, this and that, it's all about bombshell.
Yeah.
Something, Trump's last days in the presidency. The presidency is he's going to be impeached in this and that. And it's like, oh, come on. Just enough of this nonsense. Let's talk about something more productive
or positive.
Or positive.
We feed off of negativity, man.
Like right now, you have, this is the most, that's not really getting on my nerves. When you see all these liberals, all this Democratic Party talking about immigration, how much they care about immigrants and people that are protecting immigrants and all this, and this is so unfair and all this. I'm going like, what the fuck happened here? Obama was one of the worst, the most efficient, hardcore on deporting people. There was a time when I remember immigrants, that we used to call him the deportator. This guy was deporting more people than any other president.
Right.
He was hardcore on deporting people, enforcing the immigration law for the United States. I never had a problem with that.
Right.
I feel that's in the United States law, and if you break the law, hey, you got to do what, pay the crime, right?
Hold them accountable.
Hold them accountable. So I never saw nothing wrong with it. But I'm going like, now they're politicizing this so much, saying that Trump is a racist because look what he's doing to the poor immigrants. And I'm saying, what the? Go and see the videos when Obama used to come out. If you break the law, you're going to be held accountable. We're going to send you back. And I never had a problem with that.
Yeah, which is fine.
I was fine with that. Yeah. That's the law. You break the law, you're going to have to pay. You get caught up drinking and driving, you're going to go to jail.
Right.
You get caught up robbing somebody. If you catch it, you're going to go to jail. So now you have everybody, a lot of people, oh my God, crying. You see all these Hollywood actors and all these activists and politicians and crying and, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. Ocasio-Cortez coming on everywhere she can. They're building concentration camps on the southern border and all this. I was like, what? Those cages were built by Obama. Why? Where was everybody? Where was Hollywood? Where was the media? Where was the politician when Obama was doing this?
I mean, dude, he could do no wrong while he was in presidency. That's how everybody saw it. This man can do no wrong.
No.
And it doesn't matter who it is, Trump, Obama, Hillary. We always have to try to look at it for what it is. Are we really that stupid as an American people?
A lot of people are. Man, we all born ignorant. Some people are gonna work really hard to stay that way, and some are gonna enlighten themselves and become, smart and see things for what it is. I believe a lot of people are right now just want to work really hard to stay ignorant. Because
that's one of my favorite things you say. That makes so much sense to me, man.
I mean, look at it. When Bill Clinton was in power, I mean, I'm talking to you for what I saw in my own eyes. When I was here with George Bush, nobody liked that president. He just didn't, senior. He just didn't. Nobody really, he was just not there for. I didn't get to see that much on him, but I was here on their Bill Clinton.
Right.
I make a lot of money. I didn't agree with the dude, the way he acts and the things that he did wrong. When he came out and said he didn't sleep with that woman, but he did something with Lewinsky.
Right.
And I was okay. I mean, shit. The country was doing financially. I make a lot of money. Later on, we find out that, he gave us the bubble, the do that big crash on the market.
Yeah, 2008.
Yeah. But it's still, I make a lot of money. Everything's good. Hopefully, Trump doesn't give us that in the end. But when George Bush came in power, I was not digging that guy going to Iraq. I knew if this country didn't learn from Vietnam, how much money was poured into that Vietnam. It gave us, pretty much we were in the depression after that.
Yeah, and lives lost.
Yeah. And then, so I knew for a fact, man, this fucking Iraq war is not going to be good for the country. Financially, a lot of businesses are going to hold back. A lot of people are not going to invest money, and all that stuff. When Obama came in power, a lot of things that I didn't like about him, I believe in God. That was the first thing he took out of the White House. God. I was not digging that. I respect everybody's religion, and he was a Muslim. Everything was everywhere I saw him. Assalamu alaikum, salam, and nothing to say about a Muslim or anything, but we got to look at it. This country was built in the Judeo-Christian values.
Right.
So if you're going to be the president of the United States, you got to understand that. You're not going to take the idea this country was built. Just remember, you're just here to do a job for 8 years maximum, and then when you leave, we got to preserve those principles. We're not supposed to be changing the principle how this country was built.
Right. Well, the thing, here is what I see as far as, the principles in religion are, all religions are essentially the same. Like patience, love, all the good things. Don't lie, don't steal, don't cheat. Like most religions.
But the religions, they have to understand, it was the Christianity, the beacon to all those religions to be able to be preach and do whatever they want in this nation. So we have to, even like I said, if you're Muslim, do atheist, whatever the heck you want to believe, you have to remember, let's respect the religion. They allow all these religions to be able to be here.
Right, because that respects you. Exactly. So you respect it.
It had nothing to do with me being Christian and you believe in my religion.
Right.
If you want to believe in my religion, fine. If you're not, don't. But we have to respect who gave us that foundation to all the religions in this country. It was because of Christianity Then now you can be a Muslim here in Assalamu Alaikum and go on your knees and pray 3 times a day it was open, mosque, and it was because of that. The Christian religion.
Now, I don't know much about this. Maybe you do, but like separation of church and state. Do you know anything about that?
Not too much right now.
Yeah, I don't either. I want to do some research on that because, like, as far as bringing religion into politics.
Oh, you're talking about power.
Like, I think it separates religion from politics, right?
We had to see. This is the thing. This country was built on those principles. It was. We even have it on our money. In God we trust.
Right.
So we got to look at it. When you get swear in, when you go, you ever been to court to testify and anything? What do? They grab a Bible, swear you in. The religion, our religion, the Christian religion was how this country was founded.
Yeah,
that's probably the question you're asking me.
Well, you're saying you obviously you believe like stay true to your roots.
Not to just my roots, because my roots can be completely different than the roots in this country. The roots of this country.
Right.
Whatever
and you feel like Venezuela did not do that.
No, they didn't.
And you think that that's probably where
the moment they took a lot of stuff out, everything started. The principles with the nation was built, like especially this nation. The moment you start taking God out of the Constitution, and then what do we do from there? We're gonna believe in the man we trust. I think those principles and God we trust something bigger than us. Believe it or not, I don't believe in God, but look what all this nation, because of that, was built on that.
Right.
And why would you change something so great? I mean, I think
so all right, I've talked to you probably 5-6 hours probably now altogether.
Mm-hmm.
So the vibe I'm getting from you is that you love America. Obviously, you love America. You love Venezuela too, but you don't want to see America go down the same path as Venezuela.
No.
Yeah. So, and I feel like that had a lot to do with why you started writing your book.
Exactly.
Why you got into politics.
Exactly.
Okay.
The whole reason.
I just want to make sure I'm reading you correctly.
The whole reason, like I said, I had no reason to be writing a book talking about politics. I make it very. Believe me, I make a good living.
You're doing it because you love your country.
I'm making a good living with what I'm doing. I'm telling you, I am settled. I'm settled. My financials in my life is better than ever, right? So I can easily just keep living that life and be a bystander and see what I think, is destroying this country. Or I can say something like, would I make it different? Would I not make it different? How would I know? I just got to put it out there.
Right.
How do I know?
That's awesome. I admire that about you. Yeah.
So that's the only reason I'm doing this. There's no, like, I want to be famous and that.
Right. And you're not motivated by money.
If in the process, I turn out to be noticeable and all that, well, I use that fame and all that to keep, exposing this idea that is such a horrible idea. Then in this case will be socialist. Socialist is a horrible idea. It just need to be put down in trial. These elections, we got to put socialists in trial. Why socialist is such a great idea on this party? Why? What does it make it so better to what we have now? It's not perfect. What we have now is not perfect. But believe me, it is better, much better, than having the government telling you exactly. In the moment, you allow the one big piece of the government to take over, like the health industry, right? With Medicare for all. That's one thing. After they're in power, they're going to go after another thing and another thing and another thing. So that thing that you call socialist is no longer socialist. It's a dictatorship. Because if they can regulate everything in the health industry, let's see, I heard Bernie Sanders saying something about we need to make the post office more like a bank. Oh, yeah. So you look at it. If he's saying that, and let's see, they do get in power, and they do get to approve this Medicare for all. And the next thing is going to be probably that, the banks. Let's make the banks all. And let me tell you something: Bank of America, Wells Fargo, all that stuff. Eventually, bye. It's one bank.
I like having choices. I like to have freedom. I love.
How can you look? You remember when this flat screen TVs first came out?
Oh yeah.
I bought my first one.
Yeah, they were like $5,000.
I paid $7,000.
Yeah, and it was probably about that big, wasn't it?
No,
Or smaller.
it was big.
Oh, it's bigger.
It was big.
Okay, it was a big one.
It was a big one. Like you needed 2 people to bring that thing to my house because I had this big.
That was the Mac Daddy.
Oh no! I brought the Mac Daddy. It was a Sony or it was a Panasonic.
Now you could get the same one for like $1,000, $2,000.
300, 400, 500.
Yeah.
Because of that, there's so much competition that TV is
Competition is good.
Yes.
Competition is good.
Exactly.
Risk you have to take. That was one thing I loved about our first podcast when you were talking about. Oh, everybody who's listening, I messed up on me and Jonathan's first podcast and wasn't paying attention. So we're redoing our podcast. But yeah, that was one thing I really liked about our first podcast is how you were talking about risk. And that's one thing I have yet out of all the videos I've watched. And most of them infuriate me. I'm not even going to lie. Most of the videos I watch about socialism, it's because it's so misinformed.
The problem that I see with nobody, I haven't heard, to my point, I haven't heard no one really explain the downside of capitalism. Capitalism have a downside and what it is. Like I ask people, all right, when we talk about socialism, capitalism, say, well, Jonathan, it's not fair, this and this. Listen, if you're lazy, it's not going to work.
Right.
But then you have some people, well, I'm a hard worker, and I don't agree with it. Yeah, but are you a risk taker? No. So if you're lazy, and you're not a risk taker, capitalism is not for you.
Work.
It will never work for you. Because you can be a hard worker person, very disciplined, very dedicated, do everything by the book. Oh my God, like you're like an impeccable person, but you're not a risk taker. It will never work for you. It will never work for you. Capitalism will never work for you. You understand that?
Yeah.
If you're lazy, and you can be very, very smart, but a lazy person, that's not going to work for you.
Right.
Because you need the hard work ethic and the risk-taking part to actually create a product that, even if it's garbage, how many products that I see, they're complete. I say, who came up with this? And they're making a lot of money.
Right.
It's always there. Somebody's going to, want that, whatever you make it, whatever you're selling, whatever,
There'll be a demand.
Yes.
And that's how you succeed.
Exactly. It was socially, you kill the motivation to creation.
Absolutely.
And then look, there's no, like when you have, you sensitize like the population to actually be dependent on the government. Nobody wants to do anything.
If you really want to kill the motivation to do anything, equality of outcome, equality of income, all that kills motivation.
This is something that you have to pick and choose. You cannot have in the same room or in the same bucket or in the same agenda equal outcome and equal opportunity. It doesn't work. You have to pick and choose one.
Right.
If you have equal outcome and equal opportunity, it's impossible.
It's impossible.
It's impossible. You got
it's
to
a
pick,
fairy tale, dude.
It's a fairy tale. So you have to be able to pick one, or equal outcome or equal opportunity. Socialists offer equal outcome. That's what socialism is all about.
Right.
It doesn't matter. We go to college together. It doesn't matter if you study hard, really hard, and then I don't study and we both get the same grade.
Oh, that would make me so mad.
But that's socialist. That's
right.
That's the idea.
That's exactly the way I think.
It doesn't matter how hard you work. We're all getting paid the same. Why are you working hard? So I'm completely taking all the motivation that you probably have and come down to my laziness and not really care level and say, why would I work so hard when this guy's getting paid the same exact way? Because equal outcome.
Right.
Now, equal opportunity, what it does, it motivates people to really work really hard, to get really smart, to get really, disciplined, because hey, there's not going to be 3 first place.
Right, there's only one. Somebody has to lose.
Somebody has to lose. So we got to be okay with that,
Yeah,
we got to be okay with it. But that's one of the things they're sensitizing right now. Like politicians, school, everywhere you go, it is equal, outcome.
Like if I'm black, you're white.
Mm-hmm.
Like we both have the same opportunity, depending on who is better for the job. One person has to lose, and that is not based on your
on the color.
Exactly.
I don't listen. I do not see people by colors. I see people by their personality.
Right.
And I have friends from every different backgrounds. I don't judge anybody. I don't care about colors. I grew up. That's a good thing that I got to thank my parents that I grew up. And with those principles, it was not judging somebody by how they look. It was just who they were.
Right.
And it worked beautiful for me. I always felt, like I never felt like a victim. No matter how. Let me tell you, I had people make fun of my accent many, many times. But I look at it. Look, man, I speak Spanish, speak Portuguese a little bit. I speak English. I can actually communicate with you. You can't do that. So
right.
Why are you making fun of me?
Yeah, that's crazy.
I mean, but I think when people do that about me, for example, with my accent, it's because they feel threatened by me. It's something there. There's no confidence on the person when they make fun of somebody else. It's a lack of confidence. They might not tell you that. But in the end of the day, when they're by themselves, there's a lack of confidence there that you're making fun of somebody else. I'm a very successful person. I live very wealthy. I mean, I live very comfortable.
Through hard work, dedication, and risk. And
a lot of risks.
And self-discipline.
Boy, I'll take a lot of risks.
Yeah.
So for somebody making fun of my accent or the way I look, I'm like, that really doesn't bother me at all. Because in the end of the day, I'm living sometimes better than the person who's making fun of me.
Oh, yeah.
So it's kind of like, I don't care, So
yeah, say what you want. You don't believe it either.
Okay, so because they make fun of my accent or the way I look or where I'm from, I could easily pull the victim card. Oh, I feel prosecuted. Oh my God, what should I do? Well, I should just join a group and talk about other people because no, I never thought that way.
What good does that do?
Nothing.
How does that further you in life?
Nothing.
Jonathan?
If it actually hold you back.
Yeah, it'll hold you back. It's the biggest cripple. It's the biggest handicap.
But that's what I think it's going on right now here in this country. And it's part of what it was brought here 80 years ago. It's called political correctness. Identity politics. That's what it does. It makes people feel victim. Everybody right now is what is it called? I think they call them the Olympic of victimhood.
Yeah.
Who can feel more victim than the other?
Right.
Is the black, the white, the Spanish, the Asian, the LGBT, the Jewish, the Christian? Everybody's looking for to feel bad about themselves and have some people come in and be their social justice warrior and defend them, and that what all it does is create division. And in the end of the day, to me right now, it's all about control. That's how I see the blanket for what I see right now to bring socialism in this country. Just create, disguise everything.
So that's how you think, because socialism has to creep in.
It creep in.
That's how you think they're going to creep it in.
In Europe, they did it with they tried to make the lower economic, it was more economic. In Venezuela, it was brought as an economic issue with Bernie Sanders. The richer get richer and the poor get poor. That's just a miss. When you say the rich get richer and the poor get poor, I don't live with you, right? I make so much money last month. You probably didn't make that much money. Is it because of me that you're not making that money?
No.
So why people keep saying that the richer get richer, they get poor get poor?
Yeah, that's...
Actually, when people get rich...
It's easy to blame somebody else for your what you did.
Exactly.
It's
But that's-
hard to look at you and be like, what did I do? What could I have done to be better?
It's part of that political correctness crap that they're pushing so hard. Academia, media, politicians, even religion sometimes push this thing where they kind of blame, somebody out for your mistake. You got to blame somebody out for what you done wrong. This entitlement. A lot of people these days walk around with the entitlement. I know a lot of people. They feel that they have to own what you have. They feel that. I should have what Jonathan have because I spent some time around him and whatever. So
you didn't do what Jonathan did.
Yeah, they you got to look at it. These people are retarded.
Yeah.
I had no idea all the sacrifice that I done. When you guys were sleeping 3 years ago, maybe going out, I was training like a maniac, going, oh my God, not sleeping, getting up and training again and doing this and doing that, going to this place, going over there and training with somebody else, so they just show out, they spend a couple of years with you, they feel, I should be entitled to half of what Jonathan have. That happened to me before. I'm like, get out of here. Just get out of here. Get out of here with this nonsense entitlement, But eventually they learn the lesson.
Yeah.
I never let nobody get to me. Never with that. But it's part of that. Political correctness is involving all these things. The way, if you say something and they might offend you because of race or because of gender. Gender is one of the biggest things right now. Because they know that the race card is kind of wearing out. Put it this way, you heard about what happened in Chicago with the Justice Smollett case?
Yeah. How is he not held accountable, by the way?
No, how in the world we are so racist? They say we're racist, no? You hear that?
Oh, yeah.
Everywhere we're racist. That you had to fake a race crime. You have to make that shit up.
He should go to jail, in my opinion. He should
course.
go to jail for
But
wasting resources.
When you had to make up a crime like that tell you how racist, when you had to fabricate. Because if it was so racist and we were so racist, we should be hearing cases left and right 24/7.
Yeah.
But when you have to fabricate something like that tell you how racist we are.
Right.
That tell you right there how racist we
Absolutely.
are. It was not too long ago with some lady from Georgia. They came out and said that she was 9 months pregnant and she was in the grocery store line and somebody told her to go back. I don't know if she meant go back to where I'm from. That was related to a comment that President Trump say about Ilan Omar Ocasio-Cortez and Rashida Tlaib, and there was another Congress, Presley. They called themselves the squad, like this badass congressmen from the Democratic Party. So the president made a remark about that. They needed, if they didn't like this country, they needed to go back where they're from and fix the problems over there. And after they fix the problems over there, come back here and let us know how they fix the problems.
Which makes sense to me, because if you don't like this, if you don't like my house, go home.
Exactly.
Go to your
It's like
home.
my academy. You don't like what I do there?
Go to another one.
Get your shit and go
Yeah,
somewhere else. There's like
that's
5
that
academy.
simple.
There are 5 academies in town. I'll give you the names. Go over there.
And yours is called Uzcategui
Uzcategui
Brazilian
Brazilian
Jiu
Jiu
Jitsu.
Jitsu.
I looked
Yeah,
it up.
yeah.
You like that? You like how I'm on top of my shit this time, don't you? I got Uzcategui down.
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah. Who got
So-
the key, baby?
But you see what I'm saying? If you don't like what I'm doing in my academy, this is a free country.
Right.
Go somewhere
God.
else. And it happened. I have people there that came in and they tried a couple of years and went somewhere else. And, hey, that's good to them.
Right.
I'm not doing something there that's making them happy. Why would I keep him there? Go over there. It's a free country.
Exactly.
Go and find your path. Go and find, what to make you happy. That's just the way I look at it. Don't stick around if you're not happy. That's the same thing. You have all these people that are talking bad about this country, calling this country racist and all that. Well, find someone. Well, you were born and raised here, but you hate this country so much and you want to bring socialists. I'll tell these people, don't be such a hypocrite. Look what I did. I packed all my shit and came here because I didn't want to be in a socialist country. I preach what I do.
And you succeeded.
Okay. Why you don't just go ahead? But you never see that. When did you ever see a Democrat or socialist now, or a socialist, saying, I'm selling all my stuff because I'm moving to China?
We'll just give it away because that's what they do in socialism.
No,
Anyways.
we're going to
give us your shit.
No, we're going to give them that.
Okay.
I'm going to sell everything that I
Let me
worked
have your
so hard.
Bentley before you leave.
Yeah, because I am going to Venezuela. I'm moving to Venezuela.
Never
Or
heard anybody doing
I'm
that.
going to move to Iran. I'm going to move to Afghanistan. I'm going to move to Iraq. I'm going to just find a place. Pick a socialist, true socialist country and move over there. But sell everything or whatever you say, give it away. And then go.
Yeah.
You would never find that. It's
No.
always the other way around. They want to